I would love to start with the behind of this book, whereby you're seeing that illustration. And when you open the book, you will get in the middle there the divine economy. And other parts, the skeletal parts, which is talking of law, order, transformation, then human spirit.
Now the book is awesome because it brings really a new dimension of economics. Like Mr. George has said, it's trying to bring the mathematical or scientific definition of economics to human nature and kinds of soul and spirit. So it's not a surprise that was a little challenging to us. It's because it is preaching a new dimension of economics, which is exciting and interesting, and I'm really happy to be on this journey. So in chapter 3, basically actually talks about bringing ethics, morality in economics. Now, like in the chapter,
coming into how we fit in, he tries to make something very beautiful. That one, despite our differences, which he associated to the natural differences, okay? Natural differences, because literally is in the divine bit, it is assumed we are equal, right? But in the natural existence, we are different. We have tribe, we have gender, we have race, all these differences. He does not disqualify them, okay? They are not disqualified in this theory. In this theory, we strongly recognize the differences, but they are not served to isolate us in the market. These differences are there to motivate us to offer a difference, okay? Just as in the divine market theory, as he availed for the need of knowledge, okay? That tries to elevate us to transformation because of this market environment to which all of us are vulnerable to, okay? We are all vulnerable to the market, either by conscience or not knowing. We are all vulnerable to this market. Now, these differences that do exist are what facilitate the trade, and the source of these differences are divine in nature, according to his philosophy.
It says how to make your thoughts and actions powerful and harmonious. So we want to believe that this is a discussion that will help us understand our role as citizens to play in the economy, but also understand how the economy works, because many people do not understand how the economy works. You can be an entrepreneur, but you may not understand how to work very well in the economy.
Yes? So if at all the economy is the will of God, as Bruce talks about, then probably he's really trying to nullify this aspect of some people having more than the others. Because when you talk about
calculations, but that is not it with the divine economic model. It tries to simplify almost everything so that you can see that I can do something as a young economist. Looking at chapter 2, before we go into the human spirit, the law, the order, he calls for different variables that as an economist, what should you be with every simple thing? Like for the first one, if he calls for flexibility. As economists, you have to be flexible. You have to be with courtesy, excellence, patience, assertiveness, mercy, because all these drive you as an economist. That the characteristics that push you to where you are. Because you can't be an economist, but you do not have qualities of an economist.
Actions in the market are triggered from a source that is beyond time and space, though our actions are commanded by our physical body, which is obedient to time and space. Okay? So that generation that provokes us to either offer value or go into a transaction, it's what he tries to bring and interpolate into the market and lets it appear to be a divine economy. So that element that he tries to isolate from other philosophers.
In his book, I hope he was directed by God, as he said, because it must have been a strong dream. He gives back people hope that you are in charge of your satisfaction and happiness.
Of course, like any other human being, either you believe in God or not, at least there is something you believe in. And you always take that thing to be divine to you.
It's going to use mental models to make life easier, but it was a little challenging. So I had to go ahead and I tried to analyze. Even the words in the books are technical, like you needed to know his background to understand what he's preaching, especially if you are a first-time reader of such a...
For being with us today. That was an interesting discussion, and thank you for joining us for the 2022 Africa Book Review series. Today we discussed the book, which is quite different from all the books we have been discussing, and that was the Divine Economy Model. You've probably heard from different names, George Justice Kanyama, and from African Justice Media. Let's meet in the next episode. Bye-bye.